To Limpopo now, where the children of the slain Collins Chabane Mayor are calling for justice. His funeral is being held this morning. Moses Maluleke was gunned down at his home 2 weeks ago by suspects who demanded money. He died on the scene while his 18-year-old son is recovering in hospital. eNCA reporter Moloko Moloto is in Saselamani in Limpopo and joins us now. Good morning, Moloko. We understand that friends and family are calling for justice.
Good morning, Fundo. Absolutely. The 4 children of the slain mayor of Collins Chabane municipality here in Limpopo province took to the podium as the funeral of their father is taking place at the local stadium here. They poured out their heart, talked about how caring and supportive their father was. The youngest, actually, to me, she looked about 8 or 10 years old, and she said our father was very protective, and she said their father used to help her with homeworks, and they are saying we have now lost our father to politics. But importantly, they are saying the biggest favor that government should do for them as children, as family, is to ensure that there's justice for their father who was killed. And of course, the son, the 18-year-old who was also shot on that day, we also saw him here. He seems to be doing well. He's out of hospital, and he was also talking about how loving his father was, and he really stayed clear of that fateful day or events of that fateful day when his father was shot and killed. But let me bring into this conversation the family spokesperson, and just to get to hear what the position of the family is there. Thank you so much for making time. As the family, how is it going now? Today you are burying your loved one.
Thank you, Moloko, and then thank you to the viewers. Today it's going so well, and then the mood is sober. As you can see, the weather have blessed us also. We understand the man that we are burying today, he was just not an ordinary person. He was a big man, as his name, Big Moss. So we believe everything is under control and everything is going according to what the family have expected so far.
Do you think this was just a crime, or you suspect this is possibly a hit?
This was not just an ordinary crime. As a family, we suspect that this was a clear hit. It was a clear hit which was well orchestrated, and we also believe that a part of the 2 perpetrators that were brought to court yesterday, we still believe there are more that were behind this killing. That's what we believe in as a family.
Indeed, I also heard one of the children saying that this was well planned and orchestrated from elsewhere, and we also heard the police minister Beki Cele over the weekend saying there would be more arrests. But do you have any information perhaps that indicates that there possibly is or are more people beyond these 2 who were arrested?
As a family, I think during the time when the police were doing their investigation, we were busy mourning. So there were no indications that were coming to us to say there are a lot of people that were involved or are involved in these activities. But we believe from the Minister of Police, nationally, Bekikele, he also said something that could make us believe and understand that there were a lot of people that were involved in organizing this killing. You will also understand yesterday we had a memorial service where our MEC in Limpopo, Poli Bushiela, spoke much about more arrests that are going to happen. That is a clear indication that there are a lot of people that were involved. So as a family, that's how we got the indication of people that were involved in the killing of our brother.
Just finally, when I was talking to you earlier, of course you did admit that whatever happens, it will not bring him back. We all know that. But what would justice be to you? And should what you want to happen not happen, what would be a way forward?
Something that will bring closure to the family, is to see justice prevail. And then how that best can happen is that we were told about the perpetrators that were involved and they were brought to court yesterday. This is a process, and then we're expecting more investigation to take place. And when these perpetrators were taken to court yesterday, or maybe they go to court, we don't expect arrest. That won't change any situation. And then we expect arrest that must go with conviction, because you have to understand you can arrest a person and then he stayed in custody for 3 or 4 days or a week, and then you find that was a wrongful arrest. But if they have to do their work clearly, and then they have to make sure that they arrest the right people who did this and convict them. That's what we want to see. We want to see all these people that have been part of this killing to rot in jail. That's what we need as a family. If they can't be seen by their families, it same applies to us, because we can't even see our brother anymore. So what is the reason of keeping them alive and keeping them walking the street while our brother is no longer walking on the street? So they must rot in jail.
Do you suspect that there are politicians behind this, or do you suspect that this could possibly have to do with tenders, since he was a mayor? He was
a mayor, but he was not the one responsible awarding tenders, and he was also a politician. So if there's a mix between the two, then let the investigation find out what led him to be killed. As a family, we cannot say it was political connected or a tender connected, but he was killed by those who know the reason of killing him. So the investigation by the police will give us exactly what really happened, what made him to be killed. He was killed because he was a politician who was a mayor, or he was killed because at some point he was not agreeing to some people who was awarding tenders irregularly. So that is not the position for the family to answer, but we believe when the investigation comes out, and then we'll hear from what they found out, what was the motive of the killing.
All right, Humphrey Makagula, speaking for the Maluleka family, thank you so much for your time. Well, Mfundo, some of the dignitaries who are here include the Deputy Minister of the Police, Castle Matale, but also the Minister of Justice, Ronald Lamola, and we will obviously try to speak to them to understand what processes are underway in terms of ensuring that they arrest those people that they say still need to be arrested. But we know that the 2 men who appeared in court yesterday were actually arrested along with the 3rd man, who was later released by the police because they said that he could not be positively linked to this particular murder.
But I like how the family spokesperson is so frank about arrests being the first step, but not certainly the destination. That beyond arrest, there must be successful convictions. That's what they're looking for, at least in their process to finding closure. Moloko, we'll leave it there for now. Thank you very much for that update. Moloko continues to monitor the funeral proceedings there.